Hello, YouTube friends. It's Dr. Lisa Ann Homick from Homick Advanced Chiropractic. This is Brain Snob, episode 62. I have a hoarse voice and I've got a stuffy nose. Do I have the coronavirus? Here's my answer. I don't care. I don't want to know because my immune system is going to take care of it. Incidentally, the vagus nerve is hoarseness. So my parasympathetic system needs boosting. So I'm going to give it more rest, more nutrients, and maybe I should talk less, but I wanted to make a video. This is an impromptu phone filming version, and I just took a walk with the dog, so it was a brisk 30-degree evening. It's really nice outside, but here's what I wanted to talk about. So we'll see if I can get through it. Paul Saladino was on The Doctors. And if you know that show, it's on during the day. I never watch it. So I like to watch YouTube. And Paul Saladino is a YouTube personality. And I think they're trying to grab the YouTube audience and get them sucked into their doctor's show. And there's probably they can get a new audience and also to make the ratings go crazy. Because now all the YouTubers are going to talk about this episode. What happened on this episode with Dr. Paul Saladino? They had two young ladies with him. They were Skyping in. They all three of them eat a carnivore diet. And these two young ladies utilize the carnivore diet to help them get their autoimmune conditions under control. They're excited by it. It's a great opportunity to talk about how you healed from a problem. And these people on the show, the doctors, were personally offended. There was yelling and shouting, and they were treating them, not the young ladies, they were polite to them, but they were treating this doctor like he had just fallen off the turnip truck and didn't know anything about research. It makes you laugh. It was quite embarrassing, I just think, but it's all about ratings, so you can't really take any of it seriously. But the guy went on to talk about the carnivore diet. He's excited, these two ladies are excited, and it's a great discussion, but it was not a fair discussion. What else did I write here on my notes? Interestingly, they were telling this doctor, and a cardiologist also, was telling him what you're doing is dangerous and wrong. And what they base it on the current beliefs. And science right now is a bunch of beliefs because not everything in medicine has gone through the scrutiny of the scientific method. Maybe they've gotten partially through the first couple of steps of the scientific method, which is observing, making a hypothesis, and then testing your hypothesis, actually manipulating something and comparing it to a group that didn't go through that manipulation. A lot of medicine is just observing, and conclusions are drawn from observing. It's not perfect, and science has its limitations, and I think they could have gone into a discussion about that. These young ladies, they decided to stop doing what hasn't worked. What a fresh outlook. Didn't Einstein say doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results is insanity? Well, stop it. Come on. They tried something completely different and they're happier than pigs in slop right now. They feel so good and they feel improvements of their health. Good for them. Good for them. And as a curious observer, I want to know, what steps did they go through? What made them come to this decision? And what were the nuances? What were the ups and downs? And how did they have trial and error? It makes a great discussion. You don't have to be yelling at people just because you don't agree with something. From Paul Saladino's approach, he's looking at ancestral history of what people ate on this planet before there were trucks delivering food from one continent to another. So if you want some evidence, go back thousands and thousands of years and see what people were actually eating before we had refrigeration and microwave ovens and all this modern stuff. I find that pretty fascinating. And if you look at Weston A. Price, who was a dentist who in the 30s and 40s studied these indigenous cultures who were isolated from the modern trappings of life, they had excellent health. He could actually heal cavities with diet. We don't do that nowadays, do we? We just go right to drilling and filling. But I found that fascinating, learning about Weston A. Price. If you can heal a cavity with nutrition, then think of all the other things you can do with the right nutrition in your health. So these isolated communities ate mostly meat. And it didn't matter if they were in the Caribbean, by the ocean, and they had access to seafood. They were Eskimos in the Arctic, and they were eating the meat that was available to them, and they ate some of the plants that were in season. And where we live now in the United States of America, grocery stores are everywhere. Trucks bring the food in. I live in upstate New York. There are no avocados growing here. There are no coconuts growing here. Everybody's eating them like crazy. But that's not our original diet. And if you go back to your original diet, you're going to probably see that things make more sense. So, those are my initial reactions to watching this episode of The Doctors. It is not really available in the full segment. I was able to catch it online before it was taken down. The Doctors producers actually have it online in little 4-minute snippets. So it's hard to watch the whole episode unless you can get on demand with your cable or satellite provider. It was an interesting topic. I think the discussion should keep going because there are a lot of things in our diet that I call food imposters and anti-nutrients. So we should be eating food that our body can actually put up with, absorb, and assimilate. Food that actually works. Not everything in our society is helping us with fast food, trans fats, high fructose corn syrup. All of our foods have been manipulated. That makes a big difference in our health. That makes it harder to control your insulin sensitivity and your inflammation. So this is the part of Brain First Always that is important. Move your brain, feed your brain, talk to your brain. Well, this is part of feeding your brain. We've got to feed our brain whole foods that aren't going to give us inflammation and build up toxic waste products in our system, messing with our circulation. I talk about that in the BFA protocol. I talk about that in what I call keto lox phasing. You can learn all about this at the office, and I'm going to end my video here because I think I've talked enough. But I want you to be a positive ripple effect in your community. If you understand how the brain works, you can give yourself great, amazing experiences. And like I said, a burdened brain is lost talent, and we need your full participation in the world. So I want you to have a performing brain. So I hope you like this impromptu video. Check out the blog, click on everything, the like button, the subscribe button, and tell your friends about the BFA protocol because I want you to be that positive ripple effect in your community. So time to sign off, and thanks for watching.